Greetings, fellow colonists of the frontier. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Farthest Frontier, Episode 13, City of Luxury. I just realized that I'm losing things to rodents, so I'm getting a rat catcher to work in the area. So now that the windmill's been moved, the desirability of these houses have bounced back. The next thing to do is to save up enough gold to upgrade this large park to the next tier, and then to figure out what desirability is still missing. But as you can see, almost every single house is above the 65 mark, except for the center patch and then this down here. So the desirability affecting this building, nothing is in the negative. So it just doesn't have enough positives, but there's nothing detracting. I bet a shrine would be very effective, actually, without even upgrading that park. Oh, yeah. That shrine almost brings it up to the 65 mark. So I'll stick a shrine there, and then stick a flag. Flag there. And that should help the south tip there. Sand out yet? Nope, not quite. What a cunning use of flags. Exactly. Eddie put it best. But do you have a flag? No flag, no country. Alright, rat catcher. Because So, the market is also getting some rats. So I'm going to position the rat catcher over the root sellers in the market. Because I don't think the rats are going to be eaten. Maybe I need 2 rat catchers. That's annoying. Because rat catchers are really expensive. Alternatively, I could move the warehouse somewhere where the rat catcher covers. Maybe I'll do that. So I'll stick my warehouse here. Put a road to it. And then 1 rat catcher should cover all of them. Immigrants? Yes, please. Which is another reason to group up all your storages that have perishables. So that when you do reach the point where you need a rat catcher, you only need the 1. Because the money that you have to pay a rat catcher is kind of ridiculous. It's a monthly cost of 10 for a rat catcher. I mean, it's affordable, but like, put that in comparison. 2 dudes in a watchtower is 12 gold. 1 rat catcher is 10 gold. That rat catcher better be like the dude from the strain to be awarded that kind of money. That was a throwback. The dude from the strain, who was the rat catcher, I'm not gonna spoil the show. But yeah, he deserved the money. I'll put it that way. He was an earner. Oh. You better supply me with some pelts. Yeah, or be a really good flautist. The pay equals the need and the importance. That's a good way to think about it. Oh no! You're out of fish? Alright, I'm gonna get rid of this middle fishing shack because they're fishing it to death. There's no fish left. I don't need to pay someone to stand there with a fishing pole acting like they're fishermen. Which I gotta say, not that I've done a lot of fishing in my life, but almost every time I've ever gone or been around fishermen, they aren't fishing. They're drinking. I'm sure that's different for commercial fishermen, but for at least leisure hobbyists, I've never not seen them drinking. I used to live on a big lake that would freeze over in the winter. I don't think it freezes over in the winter anymore. But the ice fishing tournaments that would occur on that lake were basically just excuses to be in a shack surrounded by snow and ice, drinking booze. And I don't think anyone would disagree that that's pretty much what goes on. So the storehouse is finally getting moved. Desirability is amazing for all houses except for like these two. So you, lucky house, get blown up. He who complaineth the most get blown up. Them's the rules that I just made up. But with that said, I have hit the threshold for large houses for the next upgrade. So the only thing holding me back from tier 4 is just a simple population count, which I have plenty of space for people to move into. So there's no purpose of adding more housing until these houses get filled up, because it's not like it's gonna benefit me at all. I guess there's a few houses on the eastern side that need a little bit of extra desirability, but that will happen pretty quick, especially if I upgrade this park once I have the gold for it. Alright, so that house that once was, if I put a shrine in here, that will help the desirability of the house adjacent. Houses adjacent. Looking good. You know, it might just be a seasonal thing that the fishing stocks were depleted. I think that's the case, and I just fired that person for not finding fish when the lake froze over. Speaking of ice fishing. Except for the people that are working on this lake have no problem whatsoever. So I don't know. Like, these dudes are collecting about 170, 180 fish a year. And then you are 192. No, they're still productive. I mean, this one's less. Normand here needs to be fired. He's lagging behind everyone else. I'll give him a pass for this year because he was competing with his neighbor for fish. But next year, no more excuses. All right, there we go. So now we have our warehouse, 2 root cellars, and market all covered by the same rat catcher. I just got enough gold to upgrade a park. Boom. There goes all my money. Sandpit, it's still going. I think this is the first year where we're going to be able to slaughter livestock. Yep, butchering meat. And down here in the items produced, you'll see the meat that was butchered. eventually. Oh, what the heck is this? Oh, the houses are getting overrun by rats now? That market's within the rat catcher, though. Come on now. Come on. Alright, I'm going to have more than one rat catcher, clearly. So I'll have another rat catcher for the northwest area here. Firing out the 2. I actually get a bunch of field mice in... Hey, buddy, quit it. A bunch of field mice in my own house that I catch and release. They like my house a lot. What's weird is they're not in my pantry. The mice that I get in my house are, like, in the bathroom. So I think they're just there for, like, heat and warmth and not food. Because I don't have food in my bathroom. I know. Pretty weird, right? So the new park's up. I'm going to upgrade this shrine. Maybe I'll wait until the trade is done. Oh, they don't buy any. So stingy. The only thing he'll buy is pelts, and I don't have enough pelts. I mean, not the only thing he'll buy, but the only thing he'll buy at, like, fair wage, fair price. Fine. So just one flower urn here, I think fixes a lot of the desirability. This house doesn't hit its mark just yet. These 2 houses. But I'll try to put something in that will help. So what's hurting the desirability here? Nothing's hurting it. It just needs to be nicer. Oh, yo, another raid. Another 61er raid. 61, okay. So we'll see how the new defenses hold up. With all the additional towers and whatnot. Wait, they're already attacking stuff? Dang. They got here quick. I feel like I wasn't given a lot of advance warning. Wait, how are they already on my walls? Jesus. Like I have a colony full of blind people or something. Alright, soldiers. Let's get to it. So where are their battering rams? I don't see any battering rams, which makes me think that they are not going to fare as well as the last raid. Because the walls will hold up better. But we'll see. They sure are destroying a lot of stuff, though. I don't see any trade exploitation opportunities. No, there isn't any. The additional towers are quite nice, though. The overlapping towers, as you can see, are whittling down the ones on the gates a little bit faster. I think the weak point right now is not over here where they hit first. It's this gate. Because another advantage that I have is because I don't have a specific part of the wall that is weak. They're spreading themselves along all the walls, which then allow the guard towers to be more effective. Wow, this gate is going bye-bye quick, though. So, gate's gone, but the guards are already in position. I'm going to play on slow speed so we can see all the glorious bloodshed. Well, that dude died. Yeah, we're winning here by a large margin. They are not very well geared. Now, my guys could be geared up even better. I could be making, like, polearms and halberds. And, but yeah, they got all sliced. All sorts of sliced up. So next weakest point would be just west, maybe? Over here? Another interesting thing about all the towers that I have is there's not a lot of places where they can enter and not get continually shot at. So like this thief right now might be stealing stuff from me. But there's really... Oh, they do have a battering ram. Oh god, and it's taken out the tower. Okay. Focus it. And that thief there... You're about to understand what mob justice is. Get it! And you're dead. He stole my beer. Apparently that was enough of them downed that they're fleeing. Which is funny, because they were about to blow up that tower, which would have been an expensive repair. But nope. I get to keep it. They did break my brewery, though, which is super rude. Alright, back to work. I'm gonna remove the flag. That wasn't too bad. We'll see the true report once the last one flees. "43 of 61 were killed, 1 villager killed, 8 buildings destroyed, nothing pillaged." And the buildings destroyed, I think half of them were like fence posts. Which, in my mind, really should be classified as something other than buildings. The only thing of value that was destroyed was the brewery. And repairing buildings doesn't cost as much as it does to build them from scratch, so even that isn't like a huge deal. Whoa, you will buy beer for a lot. Well, I might not have a brewery right now, but I will sell you beer. And a lot of it. The dude has to deal with cows all day long. No wonder he wants beer so bad. Actually, cows are lovely creatures. I take that back. I haven't forgotten my desire for an arboretum or arborists. Just been a little busy. So let's get that out. Done. Yeah, it was a pretty solid result. I agree. It worked out. Almost at 300 people. Almost 3/4 the way to the next tier. Trying to figure out how to raise the desirability of these few over here that are being stubborn. I need to find an object that has a huge sphere so it can actually affect those buildings. Like a statue or something. Yep, that will work. It's expensive gold-wise, but it will work. Hey, Dirty Mike, thank you for the resub. Have I heard of the game Kingdoms Reborn? I have, yes. If you want to propose for me to play it, the suggestion box is open on Discord. I'm happy to fulfill requests, because it's an open inbox until March 20th. So feel free to suggest. Nice. Well, that was a lot of gold that we made from selling some beer. He pays a lot better than my own citizens do, that's for sure. And that will help to pay for the very expensive statue I just queued up. Brewery's already back. With the other rat catcher, I think this covers like most of the houses. And then if there's any specific houses that get overrun, we'll just move the circle around. I'm not going to opt for like 3 rat catchers. So close to the 300. So there's only, I think, this house here that has not hit its desirability numbers. Shrine shouldn't help that much because I have a shrine nearby, so maybe a flower pot? There we go. 66. Perfect. Once that's built, I'll make sure that all of them have hit thresholds. It's not super important that every single house is like a large house, but might as well. I don't see any 64 or under in this sea of numbers, though. There's some that are kind of close at 65. So I could just make it slightly nicer so that it's not on the cusp. And I think the sand is gone. Yep, sand is gone. Get rid of the sand pit. Get rid of the cobbled road. And the next sand that we're going to want is like way out here, which is totally not cool to get to. It actually might be closer to get there from here. If I can have the road not look so ridiculous. So I'll start working on that road. And then once the road's done, I'll add the pit. This will keep the builders busy for a minute. I'm just going to set it up the same way I have the last one, which is like a 6x6. One of the real advantages in my mind to... Oops, misclick. To Arborist is like... There are no tree diseases in the game. And it's so reliable year after year. Plus, the trees live for so long that it's not something you're going to have to, like, replant. It's funny that it's like, the tree lifespan is 800 months or whatever it will say. And it's like, yeah, okay, but, like, how old is your colony ever really going to be? Is that ever going to be, like, a major factor? Like, taking a look at these trees, they're still 586 months, and this is, like, the first apple tree I ever planted, right? It's like, okay. Yeah, that will be a problem almost never in the lifespan of this colony. Hey, Fihi, thank you for the resub. Cheers. All right, it's official. The desirability for all houses have hit 65 and up. And now I'm just like boosting it. We've also hit the 300 mark for people. I see a few homesteads left up here, but the very few homesteads that have yet to go to large housing is not enough homesteads to hit that 400 mark. I think it might be possible, like if I added no roads at all, to have it just on one market to hit the 400. I'm sure that that's likely possible, but I didn't go that route, nor do I have regrets about not going that route. Which means that... Oh, we got some rats, huh? Which means, like, if I wanted it at the 400 mark, I would need to probably put up another market up here. And then have the market at least within the radius of the theater. And then to put housing around that, and that, even just a few houses would easily get me up to the 400 mark. This is just insulting. There's a bear attacking, like, 100 feet from the barracks full of soldiers. And it ran away. I saw that. I zoomed in, and those two haulers, I guess, they were probably day laborers, were just drunk. Trying to think if there's anything I haven't built, which I need. Armory, probably. So let's finally get an armory. It's probably a little long overdue. So our armory is going to make, well, armor for our soldiers. It's kind of obvious. I'd like to put it around here, but there's no space. This flag's in the way. Really? Slope too steep? Fine. Smooth it. So last year, the butchery Or the barn, sorry. The barn provided almost 700 meat. To put that in perspective, the hunter supplied about 300, so less than half. And then this hunter supplied about 240, so even a smaller fraction of that. This hunter, of course, is trying to hunt, like, boar, so it's a little bit more difficult. That does remind me, is there a spot for another hunter camp? Because I know El Crabs, you submitted that as a suggestion. There are deer sighted down here, but I don't actually see them. But let me try to put a hunter down there. Anyway, see if he can't suss out where the boar is. Hunters do get a lot more hides, yeah. I just don't think there's a lot of hunting to be even done around my settlement. Now without traveling pretty far and wide. Yeah, there really aren't deer nearby. So it's possible it would be a huge undertaking to get there. So I think in terms of feasibility, this is the only one. So let's explore flag this area down here and make sure there's no wolves. Maybe there's even more animals to hunt. Upgraded lodges do use traps, but traps aren't that efficient. So it's okay to add a bunch of hunters that just rely on traps, but it's not great. But you are right, I do need hides for shoes and hide coats, so it's not a terrible idea either. In fact, I don't even have any hide coats at the moment. Oh, speaking about the lifespan of a tree, here's a really good example. Peach trees don't live as long, so I think you guys just cut your first peach trees. But they're easy to put back. Oh, this is the idiot that likes to buy overpriced beer. Done. I don't have a lot of glassware. Some more people working on that. So I can buy plate mail armor from them for 1,000 apiece. That's pricey. The wiki says, traps give more pelts and tallow. That's good to know. I'm getting them upgraded so that I do have the opportunity to get traps. So taking a look at this, animal traps cost iron. Small carcasses and boar carcasses are more pelts, but not a lot of meat. So it really depends, I guess, what you're hunting for. But there's good deer in this area, so I'm going to hunt that area instead of just trapping small things like squirrels or whatever. 105 graduates. I think that's the largest graduating class I have yet. And immigrants? Sure. We need to grow our pup. It's around this population, like 300-ish, where the game will sort of become less playable. So just beware of that. Now let me see if there's any exchange that I can do between these two trades. So you'll buy beer. Oh, you'll buy no, you're selling swords. So you only buy glassware, iron ore, and beer oring. You'll buy shoes, soap, beer. And the other dude's not selling shoes or soap, so nope. No exchange opportunities. Interesting. The Fletcher, I have tons of arrows. I think that just, specifically that hunter just ran out. They needed to restock. Is this 3? No, still 2 traders at once. Any opportunities here? You want to buy clothing. You actually want to just exchange clothing. Sell or buy. Nope. You'll buy iron, though. And I'm pretty sure the Iron Clan will sell me iron. They sell iron at 11, and you buy iron at 10. So that's not helpful. You'll buy preserves for 6. Nope. Still no. That's a shame. So the next big project is, and I'll put this down as the priority, expand desirability and set up new sand camp. Sand camp sounds depressing. Oh. Getting raided again. I think what is unfortunate about this raid is I think maybe because of map size, I'm not even really certain, but like they're attacking me so immediately that there's no time to respond now. How many are there? 72? So that's definitely the largest raid party I've had yet. I'm going to guess the southern gate is going to be the most vulnerable point, given how they're stacked up. But I could be wrong about that. Here they are, breaking my stuff. Oh, immigrants while I'm being raided? Sure, why not? Bring them on. It's kind of like that can't go wrong. And these stupid raiders don't realize that there's a clear, very easy to take path to get to my my walls, and instead they just slash and burn fences for no reason. Yeah, so that southern gate, they have double battering rams. How 2 battering rams even batter 1 gate, I do not know. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's like a really good hard counter for battering rams. I think once the raiders are starting to use battering rams, you have to just have an incredibly well-equipped militia in order to deal with it. Like, because there's no more defensive capabilities. Like, there's no more towers and walls that are better, right? It's just like, oh, sorry, but they've out-teched you. Yeah, because they're tearing up this watchtower like it's nothing. It went from 309 to gone in a blink of an eye, right? Yeah, I bet the guards aren't faring. Yeah, they're not faring all that well right now either. I mean, we'll survive it. We'll win. But that would be, I guess, a friendly critique, which is if you give the enemies battering rams, at least give me like ballistae or catapults or something to be able to counter. Because if they can bash down my walls and I can't defend the walls very easily, then walls are become less important, because that battering ram tore through that front gate very quickly. Very, very quickly. Add a barracks to every gate. Yeah, I can't afford that in taxes, though. That's way beyond my ability to pay. And then if their counter is just have fewer gates, I mean, I could do that, but then they're just going to attack walls to get through. So where are they breaching? One of the guards here died. There's a bunch of poo yet to be collected. I actually might need another compost yard. 2 guards died. I think they're fleeing at this point. So they really only pushed through one wall and killed 2 guards and killed like maybe 3 or 4 villagers. It didn't look much worse than that. Also, because they broke the fences, I have a bunch of deer down here that are just eating my crop. Like going crazy in the crop, as you can see. Back to work. And return to barracks. So let's see the aftermath report. Once the fences are repaired, it'll keep the doe at bay. Villagers rated. 55 killed of them. 4 of me lost. 11 buildings destroyed. So, still the kill-death ratio completely in my favor. But with the additional battering rams, we're getting to the point where guards with proper armor and that kind of thing are going to be necessary. I think I'm also, despite the fact that I like the aesthetics of this gate, I've gotten to a point where like I need it destroyed because it's taking up real estate that I can't afford to not use. So, is going because I want to make an armory so that I can armor up my guards so they can withstand the onslaught. So I think that's probably the next tech up, is just to have guards in like plate mail that can tank, and you specifically target the battering ram so that you render them less effective. That would be the next counter to dealing with them. They also seem to hate beer, so maybe the raiders are Quakers or something? I know Quakers don't drink. Or maybe they're Muslim. They're Muslim raiders and they refuse to drink and they want to blow up my brewery. I'm not really sure why they hate my beer. Or maybe I just brew bad beer. Maybe it's not them, it's me. And I'm brewing junk beer and they know it and they come here and they blow up my breweries to save the world from my bad beer. I'm offended, but like not surprised. Beer haters. Well, if they keep blowing up my brewery, I'm going to surround my brewery with compost yards. So they have to wade through muck, human muck, to get to my brewery. So if they do blow it up, they earned it. I'm just about out of stream time, but I'd like to get to a point where I've at least repaired everything that broke, and then put down that armory, because I think the armory is probably the answer to mitigating as much of the damage that they cause. Where is it? Blacksmith, brickyard, foundry, brewery, barracks. Why am I blind? Don't be resources. Oh, there it is. We're going to be sticking the armory right here across the street from the barracks, and start to outfit them in proper armor so that they can survive whatever the game chooses to throw at them. So I think what's happening here is the houses that keep getting infested is because there is compost that isn't hauled away. Because if you have unhauled away compost, it attracts mice. That's one of the game mechanics. So getting the third compost yard should remedy that pretty quickly. Only 76 crops eaten by animals. That's not terrible. Given the fences went down and they had a field day. Pun fully intended. A field day on my crops. The sand camp is back in business. Some of them are drunk, but they try. The road hasn't been built yet, though. All right, there we go. So a third compost yard, that should help to keep the rats from being a big problem. I'm also going to fold and get a third rat catcher, just so that I don't have to keep moving the sphere of work over and over and over. I'm giving in and paying the rat guild more money. Big Rat Corp, exactly. Oh my god, I have so many laborers. So I've had a big population boom, but I haven't actually added more industries to employ them. I guess gold mine? Nope, that's already full. Here. Get a unreasonable amount of oh, the clay pit just went bottoms up. Well, now this is just a glasswork that has no reason to be here anymore. I'm gonna move it way over yonder. And it's totally gonna get raided and blown up. That means this temporary shelter can go, and this stockyard can be moved over there as well. It's one of the things that I would like to add to the game, which would be deep pits, or like a tech tree or something that allows you to exploit resources lower than surface. Because you get to a point where you're just like, all right, I've like tapped out all the resources within a reasonable distance of my colony. What now? And there isn't really an answer. You just have to go further. And that's unfortunate. Maybe it's realistic, though. But everything eventually becomes contingent upon trade. Once you have to like go way out of your way for resources, it's just like, oh, whatever. I'll just like buy clay and produce bricks out of the clay and then sell the bricks. You know, or just add value to the resources that you buy in order to be able to afford more. All right, we've got the armory running now, where we're making hauberks and shields. The rat coverage is the entire city. Oh, nope, that's not true. There's one spot that wasn't. There we go. Rat coverage is now the entire city. We have even more compost yards. And we had added all the sand and new clay processing. It's not quite built yet. I guess I'll wait until it's built. But once that's built, it'll be the end of the stream. So just add more builders to the work sites. Now, the other thing you might end up having to do, if you're going this far into the wilderness, is also set up watchtowers for work sites that are like really deep into the woods. Because I have played some games where like certain roads were heavily patrolled by bears or wolves, and if you don't guard it with watchtowers, the bears and wolves will win and kill anyone trying to get out to that work site, which gets to be a little annoying. Nobody likes to be eaten by wolves constantly. Or at least I don't. The commute time for these places are going to be pretty bad, though. This is pretty far flung from my housing. Even with the temporary house, it's not going to matter very much. It's really far away. Sand, clay, coal. Yep. Collecting as much as we can. There's a lot more sand than there is clay, though. And that, my friends, is, I think, where I'm going to leave things off. Maybe right after I do this trade. Because I'll forget to. I was selling him... Wait, where'd he go? Oh, the trader that I was trading with had left. That sucks. Never mind, no trade. Well, there we go. A second stream of Farthest Frontier. We remain standing in the face of getting raided by enough raiders that it's like almost a third of our population. So a pretty significant army of raiders. Thank you for tuning in to Farthest Frontier, which originally streamed live on Twitch March 7th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow settlers,